Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl.
Hello, welcome back to the kitchen. I hate the light. It makes me look so shitty. I thought it would be a godsend, but in fact, it causes me anxiety. Regardless, if we don't get started, we won't get going. We are gonna make quiche today. Quiche is a easy meal that I'm not making pie crust for, but we do have two of these, and I think I'm debating we should just make two while we're at it. But the first thing we need to do with the quiche, if you don't buy ham that you're gonna just use, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Casey Carey. I appreciate that. I think it's a love-hate relationship with the skylight. Also, I was just watching YouTube shorts, and as we do, and there's a funny one that I'm going to show you for members only this week about Canadians saying pasta. Two of my favorite guys talking about it. Anyways, Christopher Angleby, what is shaking, my friend? The first thing we need to do, check the oven. Is there anything in there? No, there's not. Then we're going to, so we're going to bake the bacon, but we are going to, he was touching his beard the whole clip. We're going to bake the bacon in the oven. The key to baking bacon in the oven and having it come out flat is to start with a cold oven. And you put it in when you're preheating. So you don't actually want a preheated oven. You want a cold oven. And I usually cut the bacon in half, but I usually do it on a cutting board, which I have over here. So that way, it's a bit easier to line out and cut. And then I just line it up on a baking sheet. And like I said, I think I'm going to do two of these. So I am going to do the whole, what would this, ew, the bacon juice, gross. Oh, now I have to wipe that up right away. Is that what you would use a dog for? If a dog, would that be bad for a dog to lick up? See, I don't have a dog or small children, so I just usually pour chemicals on things like that. Anyways, so let me thoroughly wipe it. I think bacon's okay for dogs, right? Even raw bacon would be okay for dogs, right? Yeah, you know, Carol, I would love to go to the butcher shop and get really nice bacon, but I'm poor in reality. So, well, I live frugally. I don't know what to say. I mean, I pay a lot in rent. A lot. And so I like to make things cheap. That pound or whatever, it was 375 grams, I think, was $3.97 at the Walmart. So now we're going to lay out our cheap bacon. If I am feeling very good when YouTube Daddy pays me once a month, I sometimes go and buy bacon at this, we don't have Snap or anything like that here, but I sometimes go and buy bacon at the bougie little grocery store down the way that is, oh my god, stay on the thing. Bougie grocery store down the way that has double smoked bacon, and it's really good. But even then I buy the ends of the bacon, cause again, I'm cheap. And I think it tastes the same, especially for something like this. That's what I should have done, but I also don't drive a car very often anymore. And so they're complete opposite directions. Bacon Fund, Christopher, you're so sweet. Also, we are watching Court today, in case you're wondering, but I'm giving myself a head start here by doing the bacon on this pan, or on this tray, and talking before putting on the Court, because the whole challenge here is to finish the meal before the Court is over, so that I don't have to like do a bunch of Court finagling. But I realized today with this bacon method, this might not be a good idea. Now I have an air fryer. I should probably put an air fryer in. Presto. Don't down talk me. The weird shows are on the other channel. Okay, so now we're gonna put this in the oven at 375. 375. I'm gonna wash my hands. Then we're going to start watching Court. And the countdown begins. Oh, the other thing I'm gonna do is make, oh, ow, that's hot. It's really hot water. Every time I sort of get pissed off that the water's too hot, I always think about people that have to lug water everywhere. And I'm like, you shut up about your clean hot water, Paisley. Turn it down, bitch. Stop your complaining. Okay. Oh, the cost of this we can talk about exactly, because I bought all the ingredients yesterday. And it is expensive as fuck to make things like this, but it is cheaper than going out to eat, at least here in Canada where I live. So, okay, my hands are clean. We have 2 pie shells. Here's a tip for you. You can buy these pie shells or the pie crust rolled up, and then you unroll it and put it in your own pie container and make it seem like you are making your own pie. So the bacon's in the oven. That is just gonna have to be watched. We have to like listen and watch for it. I would say that'll take like at least 20 minutes, etc. In the meantime, I'm gonna put on Court, and I am gonna prep my mushrooms, because this is gonna have bacon in it, but it's also gonna have mushrooms in it, and it's gonna have onions. Now, I'm not gonna dice onions, because this I found is a really good deal at Walmart. That's only this bag of diced onions already. It's 700. That's a very weird phrasing. You guys, we gotta talk about this. I've never read this container this package very much. This is diced onions, 100% natural, no preservatives added. Asterisk. And I'm like, asterisk? You guys like this toaster? I don't like that toaster, but it's fine. These are Spanish onions, and the asterisk down here at the bottom said, like all plain frozen vegetables sold in Canada. As in, there's no preservatives in any of the vegetables frozen in Canada. They are still just as good for any item that you're cooking So for sauces or any item where you would dice and cook the onions, I wouldn't use them for raw application. Like, I wouldn't use them for a sandwich, or I wouldn't use them for a salsa. But I would use them for anything where you cook the onions. And again, this package was $2.47, which is approximately the cost of maybe 1 or 2 onions. The other thing I really like to get in the frozen aisle now is peppers, because peppers are really expensive, and frozen peppers from Walmart are the same price. And again, like, I think I still have, oh, and I also get, hold on. Okay, so this is the 3 pepper blend. So the 3 pepper blend is, again, not for fresh items, but for fajitas, for things where you're making it. The frozen ones are really good, and this is only $2.47 for this big bag. That is markedly cheaper. Fresh does taste better. Of course it does. But I can't keep fresh peppers on hand all the time or go to the store easily because the cost of them is too much if you don't use them. So this is a really good alternative to have in the freezer and be able to make and add to your food. And the reality is, I try and buy fresh food as much as possible, but having frozen good food or nutritious food is better than having none, in my opinion. And the other package that I get from there is, where is it? Maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't get that one. Anyways, they have a frozen Asian vegetable one too. Regardless, if you're gonna cook, hi, Commissioner, yeah. And the reality is, of course, I have a fresh onion. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. In this case particularly, I have this fresh onion that I bought. And the ease of being able to just pour out some of these and cook them is better. Even though I'm going to chop up mushrooms, these are the way we go with this. And onions do last for ages. That's true. I go through lots of onions, but I don't like chopping them all the time. I like to be able to, this is like easy. Anyways, and here's the thing, right? Like, you can tell the stuff that I buy versus the stuff that my roommate buys, right? So this is very in my opinion, expensive olive oil that is, I don't know, probably like $30 for a 2-pack of this. Even cheap olive oil at Costco is expensive, or at Walmart is expensive right now. But anyways, I buy most of the things, but sometimes I'm like, if you really want the olive oil, you gotta go buy the fucking expensive olive oil. Anyways, let's get into, and he got a 2-pack. Again, I was like, bro. I just don't have that kind of olive oil money. I just don't have that kind of olive oil money. I don't. Now, will I use that olive oil happily? Yes. Oh, yay! Donna was able to gift. Yay, Miss Donna. I miss you. I'm thinking about you today. All of our friends in Florida were thinking of you today. Holy shit, I thought that said Karen Reed. I was like, it's not. It's Karen Rosal. Still hasn't started raining yet. We had rain last night. But I'm going to make quiche anyways. We got the bacon in the oven. That's the best way to make it. And then, yeah, be safe, everybody. And thank you so much. Sorry, I got distracted there. I'm looking at the chat. I'm seeing it all. But yes, thank you so much, Miss Donna, Orlando Chiquita. We are, yeah, I was worried. I've been watching the hurricane coverage. I'm worried about everybody. Of course, our friends are on vacation already. What a terrible week to go. It's super thin bacon, John. Not good. I wish it was thicker. That's what she said. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is put the onions on. I'm gonna chop up the mushrooms. Oh, the other thing I'm gonna use today that people probably won't like is MSG, because I cook with MSG a lot. Anyways, but that's in the seasoning part of it, and it makes things taste really yummy. Anyways, okay, let us get watching court, and we'll see what happens there. I'll get to chopping. I'm gonna finish this coffee really quick. Oh, also, I already drank a whole bottle of water today. Yay, Paisley! Good job. You should drink water too. Are you at home right now? Are you at work? Are you somewhere? You are. Go ahead and drink some water. All right.
Coming.
No. Paisley, god damn it, not the start again. Where is it? That's funny, that scared me slightly. This will be even worse. Judge Bromley. I can chug coffee, but I've never drank a whole beer in my whole life. Do you believe that? I've never drank a whole beer in my whole life, but I just chugged a coffee. Hi, Pass. You're feeling sore? Oh. Please feel better. Be careful with the weather. Oh, that rhymes. Let's all be here together. We're making quiche. Shut the fuck up and get going, Pace. Mute it, Paisley. Come on.
On the matter of Cassandra Heiserman versus Denver Goon.
For the record, this matter is before the court this morning for the purpose of reviewing plaintiff mother's parenting time, as well as plaintiff's motion to reinstate prior parenting time order and defendant's motion to change the minor child school district. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Attorney Eric Chappell representing the plaintiff mother Cassandra Heiserman. Ms. Heiserman is present with Mr. Chappell. In addition, Attorney Kimberly Kuhn is present representing defendant Father Denver Goon. Mr. Goon is present with Ms. Kuhn. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Parties have conferred this morning with Ms. Brower for the front of the court, who has provided the court with the following recommendation. Mother's parenting time shall be on a 2-week rotation. Week 1, mother shall have Monday from school to Wednesday to school, and Friday from school to Monday to school. Week 2, mother shall have Wednesday from school to Friday to school. If there's no school, the change time shall be 4 p.m. The schedule commences when plaintiff has possession of a Smart Start device and also will eliminate the supervision requirement. for parenting time. This weekend is coming up as Father's Weekend for parenting time. The parties shall agree upon holidays. If absent in agreement, the friendly court holiday schedule shall be adopted. The minor child, Carson, shall be enrolled in therapy. The parties shall agree upon a neutral therapist. The parties shall exchange insurance cards for the minor child. There should be no disparaging remarks by either parent about the other parent or allow any third parties to make any disparaging remarks in the presence of the child. There should be no discussion of this case in the presence of the child. The defendant withdraws his motion to change the minor child school district. Parties shall continue with Smart Start and shall test at 8 a.m. I'm sorry, the plaintiff shall continue with Smart Start and get tested at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. daily. Defendant and attorney Kuhn shall be added to the email results from Smart Start. Plaintiff shall continue with Vivitrol shots and provide proof to the defendant and Ms. Kuhn. Finally, the parties will mediate with Ms. Brower on November 14th at 8:30 a.m.
What kind of shots are they making him take? Vivitrol? Can somebody check that, please, and tell me what that is? So we're doubling this recipe because we're making 2, because I figure, honestly, the reality is I have a big freezer downstairs, and that's so helpful. And so whenever I'm making something, if I can afford it, I'll try and double the recipe. And luckily, the pie dishes were on sale, so you get 2 anyways. And eggs went down in price slightly. They were $4.17 for the longest time. They were $3.93. It's not often you see something go down in price. I'll tell you that. Cheese went up. But anyways, regardless, the whole point being that I'm going to make 2 of these. So for that, I need... I've got the recipe here for it. You saw the bacon there. It's doing pretty good. We need to get to chopping the mushrooms, Paisley. That's what you need to do. Can somebody... Oh, I'm going to look and see. I don't know if anybody... Hi, Bill. I don't know anybody looked that up, but I'll look it up. Oh, I wish I had chickens, and I wish I had a neighbor with chickens that would give me eggs, Erica. That's so sweet. I would feed your chickens my scraps.
That is a recommendation. Ms. Kuhn, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this morning?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chappell, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this morning?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
The court appreciates the time that the council have spent with the parties to discuss thoroughly these issues. The issue of mediation will be what, primarily parenting time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
Okay. Is Ms. Heiserman still engaged in aftercare, Mr. Chappell?
She's completed her IOP program. Is there any, do you have regular checkups with them in any regard, or?
I still just do AA meetings.
Okay.
Okay. Other than AA attendants, and who monitors the Vivitrol? Who administers that, or physician?
Is he a regular physician?
It's in Monroe. It's ministries, something.
Catholic Ministries?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, yep. Her next shot, Your Honor, just for the court's information, is on Monday. So she's already had her first shot. It's a monthly protocol, so her next one is on Monday.
So it's just a monthly
It is.
injection, correct?
Yes, yep.
All right, and because the court's question is who monitored that, but this recommendation provides that Ms. Heisman will provide verification of her injections monthly to Ms. Kuhn and Mr. Goon, correct?
Yes, yep.
All right. All right, there seems to be some order in place. All right, to Ms. Kuhn or Mr. Chappell, do you wish to bar your respective clients regarding this recommendation this morning?
Your Honor, from my perspective, I think we've reviewed it in detail with the friend of the court. I believe that she fully understands the agreement. The recommendation is in agreement with it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
Your Honor,
Ms. Kuhn?
Yes, as Mr. Chappell said, we did review the order with Ms. Brower, and I believe that my client understands everything as well and is in agreement, correct?
Yeah.
So I do not need to voir dire, but thank you.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you, Ms. Brown, for your assistance. Court applauds the parties for reaching their own agreement with the assistance of capable counsel. The court will currently adopt the agreement, which will become an order of the court.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
The court will be available on November 14th if in fact you want to zoom in and put anything on the record, okay?
Sounds great.
Your Honor, do you want us then just to appear for pretrial, or what would be your wish?
Excuse me,
It's,
Judge, you're out of jurisdiction on that day.
Okay.
This is in the morning.
You're out the whole day.
Okay. That's it. That must be the ICO Family Law Conference, perhaps? Ms. Kuhn, sometimes I know you attend those. It could be the ICO
Correct.
conference.
Rachel,
Okay. So yeah, the court will be in, I think it's in Novi. The court attempts to attend the annual ICO Family Law Conference. So the court will
That's
be
on
available
for-
November 14th.
yeah,
Judge White is always willing to entertain any agreement on the record if in fact the parties want to put something on the record. If not, you can simply reduce it to writing if there's an agreement to modify parenting time. So in any event, the court will adopt the recommendation. Now we'll conclude this hearing. Everyone can zoom out. Have a good rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Brower.
You're welcome, Judge.
So I'm bringing in the 9:15 for you, Erin.
Okay.
Must be the ICO Family Law Conference. Yeah. You know, of course, it's free for family court judges, so I always register the first day is the good day. And it seems like it's always icy or terrible weather, so I probably will not go up on Friday. It's just it's only half day on Friday anyways. Yeah, it's the bulk of it is really on that Thursday.
Hello, what is your name?
I'm Jacob Riley. Good morning.
Jacob Riley, you guys like my knife skills there, hey? Well, I'll tell you something. Mushrooms are easy to chop, but so are your fingers, so be careful. I have not always had knife skills like that, but I have watched so much. So much. Past, you scared me. I was like, were we on mute for 5 minutes and I didn't get it? Oh no. But I am a personal chef to an asshole in his 40s now, and so my knife skills have improved immensely. But mushrooms are good to chop. We've got those sauteing now. I am gonna chop up some garlic as well, a little bit. I have a few cloves here. I always go heavy on the garlic, but I don't want to this time. Oh, yes, that's good. And then the bacon, you saw actually here, hold on. Yes, we're getting close. Yes, queen, we are getting close. Like, you are getting close to the bacon. The bacon is getting there. It's not quite done yet. We want it to be fairly close to finished before we pull it out. We're gonna let it cool. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop the chop. Oh, Moon Fox, do you want real life? There's last night's dinner's dishes right there. Right over there in the corner of shame. Our last night's dishes, it's kinda lame. But over here, we're doing a show. So we pretend like that doesn't exist right now. Yeah. Anyways. So please, I love these influencer videos where they're like, oh my god, I just like woke up this morning and made my perfect espresso and my perfect thing. And I woke up this morning dreading making this quiche in a way. Because I was like, fuck, every part of the kitchen has something on it. But then I just piled. You know what? That's what life does to me, piles it on. Guess what Paisley does to life? Piles it on, baby. That's right. Anyways, honestly though, this actually does keep me good. I do tend to clean the kitchen while we've got everything going. But cooking is different than baking. Baking is so much simpler, although people think it's harder. I don't. Again, you just have to read and... Anyways, regardless, the whole point being that my kitchen's messy too. Don't worry about it. I need another coffee. Don't worry about that. Bacon. We are worrying about that. I believe we can put on one more coffee while this goes. Then we'll check the bacon. We'll pull it out. Okay, let's continue. Now that we've got that off my chest.
We'll put you in a breakout room, one moment.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, what is your name, please?
Jacqueline Cox, COX.
One moment.
Good morning, Ms. LaPrade.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Did someone say Cox? She runs in.
Do you still have Mr. Kazmarek as your attorney?
Yeah, but he's not here today.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room. Go ahead and join. Stephanie, you can bring out Katie. The 9 o'clock.
He didn't appear, but she tried to send him a message via app close. So in front of the court served him the documents, so I know it was served.
Is it ready to call that one or not?
She's bringing Katie out.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I'm here already.
Oh, here she is. She doesn't have any video.
Okay.
Calling the matter of Katie Neal versus Anthony.
For the record, this matter is before the court on the plaintiff mother's objection to a front of the court referee recommendation that plaintiff mother initiate her 8 p.m. phone calls to the child through the paternal grandparents. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Katie Neal, you're present in audio, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
And Anthony Zajac did not appear. Did you try texting him this morning to remind him of this court hearing?
Yes, sir, I did message him.
Okay. The recommendation of the front of the court this morning is that referee recommend order be adopted with the following additions: that the parties shall communicate via app close and there should be no parties involved in the communication. Do you understand the recommendation?
Yes, I understand that.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting the recommendation?
No.
Okay, why is it?
I have a question. question. Why no parties? Why no parties? Also, thank you for reminding me about the bacon. I pulled it out. We're mostly good. It could do with more. I like really crispy bacon. And here's the thing. If you are cooking and making the most out of every bit that you use, you should take that bacon fat and put it into your quiche. Into this mixture, really. But I am trying to be a bit healthier. So I'm not going to do that. Bacon cookies. That's right, our bacon cookies are done. Can you guess if this is bacon or these are cookies? Coming up in part 72. Okay. Now things are getting hot on the stove. I gotta be careful where my mouse is. Let's see what Judge is mad about now. The bacon's out. Those are good. My coffee is re-upped. But we should drink water before we drink coffee. I'm so much better when I'm with you guys.
That, again, the recommendation is that, I don't know why the paternal grandparents are involved. Is Mr. Zadek not available at 8 o'clock?
So that's something I'm gonna have to go file for a change in parenting time. As soon as my son's coming home from school, from my understanding, Anthony's at work. So whoever's taking care of our son every day, as soon as he's getting home from school, which I'm not agreeing with because I am available as soon as my son gets home from school. I would
Okay.
rather it be.
I was going to suggest that perhaps we change. You can, again, you don't need the court to decide all these matters. Talk with Mr. Zajac. Maybe you can move up the time frame when he's available, so you don't have to go through the paternal grandparents.
I've tried that, Your Honor, and it's been extremely hard. Extremely.
All right. If you won't agree, so obviously we'll still initiate those 8 p.m. phone calls, even though it has to. The paternal grandparents have to put your Cody on the phone.
I did agree if 8 p.m. phone calls ain't working, like I drive from Monroe Public School, so I work a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours in the afternoon. I told him as long as I'm not driving and on route, Kobe can call me whenever, but it's killing me when I go 5 to 7 days without talking to my son or hearing about his day or any of that, Your Honor. And I can only imagine how much it's affecting Kobe as well. I don't know how to maintain a healthy relationship with my son. When I get him to come home, he's asking, why didn't I call? And I'm like, I tried to call you, but I did get him in counseling due to all these matters.
Good. So you have the grandparents' phone number so that you call them. Is that correct?
So, Your Honor, I did have them blocked because when I do try to contact regarding Kobe, they're intervening with it. I had a child with Anthony. I didn't have a child with them, and I kind of feel outnumbered. So when I am calling, trying to have that conversation with my son, the stepmom's trying to talk about my personal life. She's answering for Kobe. So I'm not really even getting a conversation.
So how do you call your son right now on the days that the child's with dad?
So I attempt to call Anthony first, and he's been basically making me go through his parents, and the referee and his lawyer told me to unblock them. So I currently just unblocked them because.
Okay. All right. That'll work. And if you want to modify parenting time, file a motion and the court can address that.
All right. Your Honor, I have another concern. I don't know if it can be addressed today or whatnot, but the confidential.
Unless it's before the court.
I know I wrote it up with when I was objecting to the referee order. It was regarding Anthony's address. Also his lawyer's address now too, because I served them both and they both returned it to my address. But with that being confidential, I do currently have a CPS case open due to some allegations and Kobe coming home with bruising on him. And CPS has been trying to get in contact with Anthony, but we haven't had no luck. And that's very concerning for me due to my son's health and well-being. CPS actually told me to withhold my son, but I told her I did not want to do that due to doing that in the past. I had to give him make-up parenting time, and that just makes me go longer than a week without him.
That is bad advice from CPS, ma'am. You can't just withhold parenting time. You need to get the court's authority to withhold parenting time.
Correct. And I did disagree with her from past experience I had with that.
Okay.
But she did
Right.
suggest, she gave me a paper for change in parenting time. And highly suggested that, which I will be doing.
Well, I do note that you also filed a motion to show cause against Mr. Zajac, and that was set for hearing this morning.
Yes, that was through legal aid. Michael, he helped
You're
me.
alleging that he's violated parenting time.
Yes, sir. That was regarding the phone calls because he went from January to July unactive
Okay.
on app close, and that's kind of what caused that PPO because I was calling him private. But how do I contact him if he's going 6 months, 6 months on app close, not active? That was
I'm
a
looking
main
for proof
concern.
of service that you served Mr. Zajac with a copy of your motion to show cause and the notice of hearing for today's date.
All right, I do have. If I can turn on my camera.
Needs to be in the court file, ma'am. Needs to be in the court file.
Oh,
Of course,
okay.
cannot proceed with that. And I do not see that in the court file. So what the court would suggest is you go ahead and file your motion.
Can I bring that in? I do got copies of the receipts.
Gotta be filed with the clerk's office. It's gotta
Okay.
be in the court file.
All right, I can
see
do
that
that.
for the front of the court mailed to Mr. Zajac. Copy of the referee recommend order and the order for the objection hearing for today's date. I don't see where they mailed a copy of your motion for to show cause.
I did that on my end because during that period of time, his address was not confidential.
Okay.
It just recently became confidential, but I do have the receipts, and I'm sorry I didn't turn that in before this hearing, but I can for sure still do that and make sure it's on file. I also have the
It
envelope.
looks like you did on August 8th. You mailed to him your motion to show cause on the address on Hall Road. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And that was returned as being undeliverable?
Yes, sir. That's been his mailing address since I've known Anthony. His aunt lives there, but on the envelope they wrote he does not live there. But that's always been his mailing address. And I did inform him as well, and his attorney when we were in front of the referee on July 3rd, I believe. I brought it to their attention, and I even asked his attorney for his correct address himself so I can send him a copy. But his attorney told me that he did not know his address. So I went off of what was on file at the courthouse, which was Northwestern Highway, Farmington Hills for his.
In your motion for show cause, you're simply asking the court to order that Anthony comply with the parenting time order. He does not need to be reminded in order to comply with court orders.
All right.
Mr. Pratt, would you suggest that we take any action with the show cause? Apparently it was not, we don't have full service.
Your Honor, for the record, Mr. Sajac's address has been confidential since June. So I know we mailed the de novo paperwork due to the confidential address. We did not mail the show cause. It was not provided to us to mail. And Mr. Zajac is not here, nor is Mr. Rotenberg. So I did not do other than the de novo because I do know they were served on both of those because our office did service.
All right. Thank you. So in the future, Ms. Neal, if you're going to file a motion to modify parenting time, bring it into the front of the court and ask the front of the court to mail it to Anthony at his confidential address.
Okay, I wasn't informed the first time. They
Okay.
told me, second floor told me I had to mail that copy in to grab a receipt. So that's what I did.
Okay, in the future, yeah, take it in front of the court and have them mail it to the confidential address so we can act upon that. So without proper service, court cannot act upon that today, okay? But the court
Okay.
will adopt a recommendation that the recommended order be adopted and that the communication, all parties shall communicate via app close. You need to download it on your phone. There should be no third parties involved in those communications.
All right.
Right, that will conclude this hearing, ma'am. You can zoom out. Copies be mailed to you and to Anthony.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Our pie shells looking good. The onions are sweated off. The mushrooms are. I added the garlic at the last minute. When you're cooking, add the
Good
garlic
morning.
last.
Can you hear me?
Because it burns
I
quick.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Good
you
morning.
guys. You're interrupting
Good
me.
morning.
Please let me finish talking about my quiche. So, we have the pie shells here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and I chopped up the bacon as well, which we'd already baconed in the oven. And next, I'm going to grate up the cheese. I'm using our standard cheese that we have in the house. But Swiss would be good. Also, I have a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano to put on the top. Parmigiano Reggiano. It's the real one. Only $4. Okay. Interesting. I love those petals. Anyways, so we're getting there. We're almost done, guys. Oh, and a dozen eggs and cream. And I think that's pretty much it. I'll show you as we go. Let's continue, shall we? Okay, let's go.
Who do we all have here?
Yes, we have Party A, Jennifer Dorfmeyer, who's sitting behind me here. Party B, Joseph Dorfmeyer, who's sitting to the right of me. And then attorney Eric Wineland on behalf of Party A.
Okay, I will put you in a breakout room, so go ahead and join
No,
when it
it's a-
prompts
it's a-
you.
It's a consent judgment.
Oh. Oh, it is. Well, never mind. Just stay right there.
Calling the matter of Jennifer Dorfmeyer versus Joseph.
For the record, this matter is before the court for entry of a proposed consent to judgment of divorce. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is attorney Eric Wineland, representing the plaintiff, Jennifer, the moving party, Jennifer Dorfmeyer. Ms. Dorfmeyer appears to be present, and so does Joseph Dorfmeyer. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Morning. Morning.
Mr. and Mrs. Dorfmeyer, can you both please raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Wineland, if you want to voir dire Ms. Dorfmeyer as being party A, please.
Please state your name.
Jennifer Dorfmeyer.
And what was your name prior to your marriage?
Jennifer Harbaugh.
Okay.
Can you speak up a little bit or get closer to the device, Mr. Wineland? We need to pick up for recording, so maybe get your device closer to the parties. Wonderful. Thank you.
Where do you currently reside?
9690 Lake Road, Ottawa Lake, Michigan.
And did you reside, have you resided at that residence for more than 2 years?
Yes,
And did you reside at that residence 60 days prior to filing your complaint for a joint divorce on or about July 3rd, 2024?
yes,
Are you currently married to Joseph Dorfmeyer?
yes.
And when were you married?
July 17th, 2010.
Okay. Are there any minor children born as a result of this marriage?
No,
Are you currently pregnant?
no,
Are you seeking a divorce today from Mr. Dorfmeyer
yes,
on the grounds that there have been a breakdown of the marriage relationship and that there's no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved?
yes,
Attached to your amended consent judgment of divorce are financial disclosure papers. Have you fully disclosed your assets to Joseph?
yes,
And are you, do you believe that he has fully disclosed his assets to you?
yes,
Have you both had an opportunity to reach a property settlement agreement in regard to the joint property that you both own?
yes,
And do you believe that this agreement between the two of you is fair and reasonable?
yes,
Were you aided by legal counsel during this process?
no. Legal? Yes, sorry.
All right. And have you had a full opportunity to discuss all the legal issues associated with this joint
Yes.
divorce?
Yes,
Do you have any questions now?
no.
Your Honor, is there anything else?
Thank you. Mr. Dorfmeyer, can you please state your name and current mailing address for the record?
Joseph Dorfmeyer.
Thank you. Mr. Dorfmeyer, did you hear the testimony?
I'd just like to point out that I feel like a Dorfmeyer or dork today. So I looked at this recipe and I thought to myself, 3 cups of cheese. I mean, that's quite, oh, and it's dying. It's dead. My phone died. 80, oh God, don't do it. Are you breaking eggs? Anyways, and so I thought, well, we're doubling the recipe, we gotta double that up. So I'm shredding this cheese and I'm thinking to myself, this is a lot of cheese. And then I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't put this much cheese into quiches. And then I thought, are you a cheap cheese person? And then I realized I'd already doubled the recipe, so 3 was double. It's 1.5 cups. And I don't need 6 cups of fucking cheese. Oh, jeez. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go plug my phone in and we'll continue on with this.
Your wife Jennifer this morning.
Yes, sir.
Was her testimony true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Have you in fact signed your name to this proposed judgment of divorce, approving the terms and conditions contained therein?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, sir.
Right. Right, Mr. Weiland, do you have any questions of Mr. Dorfmeyer?
Joseph, you've had an opportunity to review the financial disclosures of Jennifer,
Yes, sir.
and are you confident that she's fully disclosed her assets to you?
Yes, sir.
And you provided a financial disclosure to Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
And did you disclose your financial assets to her?
Yes, sir.
And both of you had an opportunity to reach an agreement in regard to the marital property that you both held?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that this is a fair and reasonable agreement?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor. One issue of clarification. We did file a consent judgment divorce with the initial pleading on July 3rd. That was amended on or about September 18th, and I hand filed that to the court. I just want to make sure that that copy is the copy that the court is going to be executing today.
Well, there is a little bit of confusion because the judgment that has been presented says amended. And how can I amend something that was never entered? So that's confusing to the court, and it's confusing to the parties. We need to strike that word amended. And there's no other, the court file simply contains the petition.
Okay, well,
There's nothing else in proof of mailing, that's it. So there's no consent proposed judgment in the court file. There's nothing. And so that was one of the concerns the court had. Ms. Weiland, we need to strike this word amended. It's already on base, so I don't know unless you want to come down and submit a revised one. Secondly, the court had a question regarding division of marital property. Page 6, it says that the wife is awarded the real estate on Lake Road in Ottawa Lake, as well as the Westgate Smoky Mountain Resort timeshare in Gatlinburg. Our quitclaim deeds transfer is necessary. There's no language providing that the husband has to execute quitclaim deeds. Is there any mortgage debt? Is it joint debt, or is it debt simply the name of the wife?
in regard to the 9690 Lake Road property, that is a jointly owned asset. The mortgage is between the both of them, and the wife is assuming that obligation. In regard to the Smoky Mountain Resort, again, that is there is a deed. We have quitclaim that, and the wife is assuming the obligation to that as well.
Joint mortgage debt?
Yes.
So there's no obligation to refinance that to get it out of husband's name. Is that correct? That's going to get Mr. Dorfmeyer's credit for the rest of it until that debt's paid off. It's going to affect his credit. Typically, there's a time frame which parties refinance a joint mortgage debt. And I just pointed out, Mr. Dorfmeyer, there's no obligation, unless I missed it, there's no obligation in this proposed divorce decree that Mr. Dorfmeyer has to refinance those mortgage obligations to get in your own name and out of your name.
All he has to do is sign off on it. He's off the mortgage. That's what they said to me.
Your Honor, there are provisions within the property settlement agreement that require the parties to execute documents to effectuate the requirements of the agreement. That would be 1310, paragraph 1310.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't specifically state.
I do see that, yes. So that would occur, hopefully address the obligation of Mr. Dorfmeyer to execute quitclaim deeds of those properties. It'd be nice if it was real clear, but what about the mortgage debt?
The mortgage debt on the home will be refinanced. Ms. Dorfmeyer plans on selling that home rather quickly. So the agreement doesn't specifically spell out that she has to refinance that within a specific amount of days, but the parties have both agreed that she would be selling the home and Mr. Dorfmeyer would be getting $58,000 from the sale of that home.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, that's for the one rental property. $125,000 is half the equity in the home.
Okay,
now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that provided for in the judgment, Mr. Wineland?
It's not specifically stated, Your Honor.
Well, I don't want this coming back. The court's not comfortable signing a judgment divorce today until these things are clarified. We need to, first of all, get a judgment, consent judgment divorce, and strike the word amended. And the court does not want, I want to conclude this matter. I don't want the parties coming back in 3 months because these things, there's a change of mind and it's not clearly spelled out. These issues need to be spelled out specifically. I agree with respect to execution of documents. Okay, Mr. Dorfmeyer has to execute quitclaim deeds. There's no obligation on the part of Miss, I don't need to talk about now, she's some division of equity. Nothing of that is addressed in writing. It should not to be addressed as judgment. So we don't have issues coming back for this court in 3 months.
Your Honor, in regard to the amendment provision, may I direct the court to page 1 of the consent judgment entry, paragraph 3.
So you're saying that this agreement of September 18th, 2024, which is not part of the court file, that's all that addresses this whole, everything about the real estate?
Your Honor, in regard to not part of the court file, I guess I'm not following it, and perhaps I can better understand. We filed the consent judgment entry with the original paperwork on July 3rd.
Sir, Ms. Weil, it's not in the court file. You can come up to Monroe, look at the court files. Nothing in here other than your petition.
They may have removed it, the clerk's office, when we submitted the amended document. But I'm representing to the court. I filed that original consent judgment entry, and then I filed an amendment last week. What the clerk's office did, I don't know. But
you could call the clerk's office, or the court's not going to enter this amended consent judgment. It's very confusing. And I just don't want this matter to come back to the court in 3 months because there's an issue between the parties. I don't want to try a divorce case when in fact we should have consent. And I want to see these things all spelled out.
All right, I can strike the word amended, that's fine. And then we can add language in regard to any mortgage debt and the obligation by the party to refinance. And if we do those two things, would that address the court's concern?
Yes, and as long as Mr. Dorfmeyer is on board and they're both parties fully agree who has what obligations.
Okay. All right, we can get that done and filed this week. And then have this matter rescheduled for hearing? Or
Well, it's not necessary. Again, I just, Mr. Dorfmeyer, I don't know, Mr. Wineland, are you representing party A, Ms. Dorfmeyer?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Dorfmeyer, the court would strongly recommend that you consult your own attorney. You don't need to hire him, but at least consult, pay a consultation fee, and have an attorney review all these documents before they're resubmitted to the court. That's the court's strong recommendation to you, sir. Mr. Wineland represents your wife, his loyalties. He's trying to help both you conclude this marriage in terms of a judgment divorce, but legally his loyalties lie with Jennifer. So you need to understand that, Mr. Dorfmeyer.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, I will go ahead, make those two amendments, the amendment striking the word amended, and then addressing any mortgage debt and any obligation to refinance that within a specific time. I will provide the amended document to Mr. Dorfmeyer for his review and possible consultation with outside counsel. Once I get his approval and signature on the document, I will file that with the court. And will the court need any further hearing, or if the court?
No.
No. Okay.
The testimony you've got today should be sufficient, Mr. Wineland. So and maybe come up if you want to come up and look at the clerk's file. I don't know. They typically, if they're going to take something, if they're not going to file something, they would normally send it back to the party who filed it. So I can't tell you what happened to the original judgment divorce. I just have this copy of an amended, and then now the first question is, what are we amending? So maybe just a clean consent judgment divorce. So with that, based upon the testimony that's been presented this morning, as well as the complaint filed this case, the court finds that jurisdiction has been established and that there has been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed and there appears to be no reasonable chance of reconciliation. Accordingly, upon receipt of a, revised consent judgment divorce, the court will sign that judgment, and at that time, the court will order that the marriage between the parties be dissolved and judgment shall enter, granting a divorce with bonds of matrimony. Right, no need for another hearing, Mr. Wineland, so the court will look forward to receipt of a modified consent judgment, not amended, but just simply a clean, modified consent judgment divorce.
Your Honor, how would you like me to caption it? Revised, modified, or just consent judgment?
Just simply consent judgment divorce.
Okay.
And eliminate this word amended, because that's what creates confusion. And Mr. Dorfmeyer, I think you want to make sure that it's clearly spelled out in here, the obligations of, I don't know what you're getting out of any of this real estate. make sure it's clearly spelled out in there. It does say you'll receive $122,400 within 14 days. But it's not clear in terms of what in exchange, what that's in exchange for. Also, you're gonna receive another payment of $58,000. But again, if you want to make sure that the Ottawa Lake home, there's a provision that there's nothing here that says that has to be listed for sale or to be refinanced. Other than you both got to execute quitclaim deeds. So with that, that'll
conclude that. That's so funny. I'm laughing so hard past. I am actually not, I'm lazy in some senses. I thought you were going to say because I wasn't cleaning up after myself. I was like, this is very clean. This is very clean for Paisley. So we're just going to catch up quickly on the quiche here. Why are we making two? Because if we're going to make this much mess to make one, we may as well make two. And they freeze very well after you bake them. And I have enough freezer space. I explained it at the beginning, Sherry. I'm trying to, because honestly, it's a lot of like work to make things, so it makes it good. So they are, but I still have ingredients left over. These are stuffed quiches already. This has just got the mushrooms and onions and garlic, green onions, bacon, cheese, and then there's going to be the egg and cream mixture plus more cheese. And then I guess I've got all this left over to make something for me to eat that will taste incredibly similar to the cheese quiche that we're about to eat. Yeah. That was too much cheese. But that's okay. It's already grated, so I'll just put it up into some bags, and then I'll just have grated cheese in the fridge like a rich person. I joke. I used to buy grated cheese all the time. Food has gotten very expensive, y'all. So, but the cost of this meal, let's just think about that. It's going to take a dozen eggs, which is $4, $3.93. We'll say half a block of cheese, so that's $5. The bacon, which is $4. And some cream and the mushrooms and onions, another like $3. So, oh, and the pie shells. Did I say that already? $3. They were on sale. And you can definitely leave out the mushrooms for sure. I've just begun to love mushrooms as an adult lately, and so I eat them. You know, I don't know if you guys know, but with my ADHD, I binge on things, and then I'll stop. One day I'll just like eat it and be like, oh, how could I have eaten this every day for the last 6 months for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and now I don't want it. That's just standard. But anyways, so what I'm gonna do is break the eggs into this bowl here. A dozen of. I'm gonna start with 10. I'm gonna start with 10. I think that's enough. These say they're deep dish pies. I don't know. I don't know what girl was telling these guys that this is deep. Oh, you're so deep dish. Oh my God. I can't believe how deep dish you're getting. Okay. Keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay. Let's continue. You're so deep dish. Oh, God.
conclude this matter. Court will look forward to receipt of a revised judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah,
I believe pie crust is easy. And let's say in a month, when I've done this show for a month straight, then I might make pie crust for one day. But And I swear to God, isn't that a regular pie crust? And in Canada, that is a deep dish. Get that right, men. In Canada, deep means something else. Oh my God, I can't move the eggs. I can't even move the eggs because your fucking onion's in the way. And the keyboard, no less, Paisley. It's the keyboard. Look at what this says. 2 deep dish pie shells. Croûtes à tarte profondes. I'm not joking. That's what that is sold as. Deep dish. I actually thought that too. I was like, you know. Do I have an automatic kneader? Yes, I do. I have gadgets in this kitchen. I have lots of gadgets. But the reason I bought these, the inspiration for this meal was because I was walking by and these are normally $5 and they were on for $2.97. And I thought, oh, the eggs have gone down in price. This is coming together to be a good meal. So $2.97 for 2 of those. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So we're going to make 1 for today, and then 1 we'll keep in the freezer and eat another day. But, yes, let's call it. Before Christmas, I will make us fresh pie dough. Oh, we'll do my favorite. I love baking, you guys. I love baking. The problem is butter is damn expensive. You know? But I love baking. When I had a job, it was better because best used by 2021. I fucking hope not. I bought it yesterday. I'll be phoning them for, oh my God, the company's can't, look at the name of the company. Bimbo. Bimbo Bakehouse. Sounds like my kind of place. Bimbo Bakehouse. Do you guys have Tender Flake, by the way? Do you have this brand? They make shortening. But this ingredients is flour, lard, water, whey powder, sugar, sea salt, and sunflower lecithin. You don't have this brand? What? Do you have Crisco? Do you have Crisco? This is probably actually, yeah, this is expired. I'm gonna throw this away. This is expired, but this is Crisco. You have Crisco, right? These are the 2 brands that you're gonna get. Tender Flake and Crisco. But this expired in 2023 and I didn't buy it. I moved into the house with it. I'm not going to use this. See, this is a terrible sign. For best results, use within 1 year of opening. Not intended as a spread. Do you guys have that kind of warning in America? Because they warn us in Canada about some of the stuff, you guys. Anyways, but Tender Flake is the same. Although this is lard, I guess. Anyways, I do have questions, but I'll call them later and ask about them. We'll put that over there to be thrown away. Where were we? What were we doing? We were watching court. Oh, and cracking eggs. That's what we'll get to. That's what we'll get to today. Where I have to get to after this is the gym.
Says back to the clerk's office to delete this. Okay.
Calling the matter of Jacqueline Cox versus Jacob Riley.
For the record, this matter is before the court for the purpose of reviewing plaintiff mother's parenting time. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is plaintiff Jacqueline Cox. In addition, attorney Christina Hills is present representing defendant father Jacob Riley. Mr. Riley is present. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Your Honor.
The parties have conferred with Ms. Brown in front of the court this morning, who has provided the court with the following recommendation. That mother's supervised visits through Downriver Family Connections shall continue. Mother shall make up a supervised visit if the facility can accommodate an additional visit. Defendant will continue to pay for the sessions without prejudice and requests, and his request for reimbursement of 50% is reserved at this time. Parties shall return to this court on November 6th at 9 a.m. to review CPS reports, as well as to once again review mother's parenting time. That is a recommendation. Ms. Cox, do you understand the recommendation?
I don't agree with it.
Do you understand the recommendation?
Yep, I understand
now,
it.
I'll come back to you, Ms. Hills. Is your client agreeable with this recommendation this morning?
He is, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Cox, have you had any visits so far with through the Downriver Family Connections? Is that commenced?
I was supposed to have 2, but he didn't show up to 1, so I've had 1.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I feel like I should be able to see her maybe even on the weekend or something. And from what I understand from his side, he can't afford it either. Neither can I. It's a very long commute. I spoke with CPS this morning, and my worker, Ms. Simmons, informed me that her recommendation is the case be closed. It's in review right now of her supervisor. I was able to gather a lot from her report. I spoke with her right before court, so I'm not concerned about that. I've never harmed Aubrey in any physical way. I just feel like I deserve more time, like to see her, to do her hair, to hang out with her. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with it. And I don't think that it's agreeing with either my life or Jake's life to be commuting 40 minutes and paying money. So.
Well, if the two of you come to an agreement, the court would certainly entertain that, but obviously you cannot agree upon that.
I haven't even spoken to him in a week or so. So, you know,
that's on you, ma'am. The communication is the key when you're raising a child.
Yep, and I try to communicate with him, Judge, very often, and it takes 2. You know, it's not all on me.
The court understands, but I would encourage Mr. Riley to respond. Ms. Hills, have you been able to confirm that CPS is closing their case and investigation?
I have not, Your Honor. I spoke with the worker yesterday, myself, trying to get an update for the court because the report was not completed and they asked for an extension on our time set in our subpoena. She indicated, and this is the only time I've had this issue come up in all the years that I've been dealing with family court and CPS cases. She indicated that even with the release that we had provided, that she was not willing to give me any information about the case. I had spoken with the supervisor just prior to the last court hearing, who had indicated that there was a safety plan in place and that the investigation was ongoing. So I have no confirmation personally that the case is being closed. We did get our hands on a copy of the police report from the Inkster Police Department. The story that was given to the police by the older child, who is not a child of this case, is consistent with what that child had told my client, and it's also consistent with what Aubriana, the child of this case, had told my client as well. So very concerning in regard to a physical altercation, which allegedly took place between Ms. Cox and the older child in the presence of the child of this case, as well as some very concerning behavior with the police, allegedly resisting and opposing the police, allegedly kicking one of the officers in the groin in the process of being arrested on the domestic violence. There was a reference to a gun being in the home, although the police were not able to find that. There is still a request for a warrant on the felony resisting and opposing charge or allegation. I just checked that as of yesterday, and that's still in warrant recommendation status at this point. So we still have a lot of concerns, and I'm very interested to see what the CPS investigation report reveals about CPS's feelings about this. But my client is very concerned given what he knows so far.
So the altercation between Ms. Cox and her older daughter, as well as the subsequent arrest, that all occurred in the presence of Aubriana? Is that correct?
No, she wasn't there.
Hold on, Ms. Cox. I'll let you respond, Ms. Hills.
Per the police report, and per Aubriana's statements to my client, she did witness the altercation between Ms. Cox and her older sister. I don't have any indication that she witnessed the resisting the police officer. I don't have any answer to that for the court.
But presumably, Aubriana knew that her mother was taken away, correct?
Yes, she was taken away that night by the police under threat of being tased because of her behavior.
All right. And has there been any authorization, or are you saying of any charges, or simply pending in Wayne County?
No charges.
It indicates that she has retained counsel, that the Wayne County prosecutor assigned to the case is Mr. Luke Skywalker, and that the pending charges with a recommendation for a warrant are resisting, assaulting, and obstructing a police officer.
Mr. Who? Mr. Who? No, that's a joke. That's a fucking joke. I'm sorry. Please explain. Please explain. Luke Skywalker? Who names their kid that? Also, we're putting this in now for 30 minutes. We won't be together when it comes out, but I will tell you guys all about it. And 35 minutes. And I'm gonna put this in a Ziploc baggie. Seriously, did they say Luke Skywalker? I swear to God. I swear to God. They did. Oh, well, let's see here.
But presumably, Aubriana knew that her mother was taken away, correct?
Yes, she was taken away that night by the police under threat of being tased because of her behavior.
All right. And has there been any authorization, or are you saying of any charges, or simply pending in Wayne County?
No charges.
It indicates that she has retained counsel, that the Wayne County prosecutor assigned to the case is Mr. Luke Skywalker, and that the pending charges with a recommendation for a warrant are resisting, assaulting, and obstructing a police officer.
But not yet authorized.
Not yet. No warrant has been authorized, correct?
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Cox?
Yeah, this all happened August 8th. From my understanding, nothing's gonna come about from that. And if we're talking about the report, like she said, I was wrongfully arrested for something I didn't do. So yeah,
that's not an issue before this court. I just want to know, this court's concern, was there an altercation between you and someone else in the presence of your 10-year-old daughter, Aubriana?
No, and I never touched my daughter to begin. And when I did get the phone from her, it was only me and my older daughter in her room. Aubriana never seen anything. I don't have a abusive past. I've never abused.
Hopefully CPS will reveal that when CPS gets the final report.
Oh, for sure, Judge. I'm just stating my side. I've never abused either of my children.
No one is saying that you abused Aubriana. I'm more concerned about Aubriana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Aubriana. I'm talking about Aubriana. I feel like I should be able to see her unsupervised. I've never harmed her. I've never touched her. I'm not an abusive person. I don't have
No
a
one is
record.
alleging that you assaulted her or abused her, Ms. Cox. The
That's
allegation
what
is
I
that,
feel like
is
Ms.
that
Kills
you,
keeps saying.
Okay, I'm
I
not gonna
feel
argue with you.
like
The allegation, ma'am, there's an altercation between you and someone else in the presence of Aubriana, a 12-year-old child, and that's inappropriate for a child to witness that. So if the CPS says Aubriana wasn't there, didn't see anything, then obviously we're gonna reinstate parenting time when we come back on November 6th. This is 30 days off, so at this point, the court's gonna adopt the recommendation. Parenting time will continue through Downriver Family Connections. The defendant will pay for the sessions, and we'll come back November 6th at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have those CPS reports that will confirm Aubriana was downstairs. She was down the street at a neighbor's house and was not present, didn't see anything. We get back to regular parenting time. Is Aubriana currently in counseling, Ms. Ills?
I do not believe so, Jacob.
She should be.
No.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
agree.
Agree
Court's
on
gonna
that.
add this recommendation. Obviously, she's right now being, they disrupted her parenting time with mom, so the court's gonna order that to dad that you and enroll her in counseling.
Okay.
With that added,
That's fine.
so find out what your insurance covers and make those phone calls to different agencies today, please. Get that started.
Yes, sir.
So we can add that to the recommendation, please, Ms. Brower. With
Yes, Your
that,
Honor.
that will conclude this hearing. We're gonna zoom out, have the rest of the day.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Make me a little omelet, I think. I think that's what I'll have for breakfast. I haven't eaten yet today, except for all the nibbles you saw me nibble. Case closed. This is the way. What a crazy little thing. So, let's just close loop on our quiche for a moment in time. Moment in time. They're in the oven. They have the egg in there. They got the cream in there. Little piece of bacon peeking out. Hi, I'm bacon. I want you to eat me. We're gonna let that bake for approximately 35 minutes, and then we will be eating it for my fucking lunch, I think. So maybe tonight. Oh, show us a picture of Cheshire Cat. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. It'll just be a moment. Anyways, you made brats and cooked dog chicken? What is dog chicken? Oh, you cooked the dog chicken? Or are you calling him a dog? Or is it dog? I have questions. I have so many questions and so little answers. I'm not looking at the screen, so give me a second. Oh, for your dog. Fair enough. Yes. Good. I have to do all the meal prep for the asshole in his 40s today too. I have to cook a lot of chicken and broccoli and rice. Okay, give me a second so I can download this so I can get the fucking thing. Okay, give me a second. Smells good. Oh, it's all big. Why is it so big? Why is it so big? That's what she said. Why is it so big? How do you live with it so big? This cat must be gigantic. I'm just kidding. It's my fault. Oh my god. That is Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat. Oh my god. So cute. You're so cute, kitty. Oh, I love you. There's one more here. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta clean this kitchen, go to the gym, do all the meal prep. Oh, we still have more of that fucking drama tonight. That show, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Look at the cat. More of the grandma saga tonight. Hopefully it's over tonight. I don't know. And then, and that's it. So I gotta do a bunch of things. Mainly clean up. We did not accomplish cleanup today because I was too busy cooking. But that's okay. We'll be back at it again another day. That day being tomorrow. I heard a noise. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a good day. I will let you know tonight. I'll show you one of the quiches. Ostensibly, we will only eat one before our next show. So hopefully I'll have one to show you how delicious it turned out, and I will post the recipe. I hope that you had a wonderful day. Thanks for coming into my kitchen. I like hanging out here with you. It is so fun. Remember that I love you, I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Ways down